Hey guys, it's Alexandra from Cre8tion Crochet.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cable stitch scarf. This cable stitch scarf has a really cool pattern that I've been playing around with lately. It has 4 rows worked in this cable, 4 rows worked into that one above it, and then a 6-row cable on top. And I just repeat that all the way throughout, and I just really like the way that it looks with that little bit of difference there. I am using a really lovely yarn from my local yarn shop. This is called Emma's Yarn Washable Worsted. The color is called Jackie O. This is 100% superwash merino wool. It is dyed at their shop and the colors are beautiful. The yarn is beautiful. It is really nice to work with. It's soft, it's squishy. Similar yarns to this are going to be Swish from We Crochet and Lion Brand Woolies, but you can use any worsted weight yarn out of your stash. Pick your favorite. Whatever you have several balls of there, grab it and you can use that to make this scarf. Gauge is not terribly essential here if the finished size of the scarf isn't essential. It's really easy to add more repeats to make it longer. You may just need to go up or down a hook size if you're trying to get the width smaller or larger. But I'm going to be using an H8 5mm crochet hook. You're going to find the pattern for this linked in the description box below. We are going to be working cables, so I'm going to show you how to do that cable setup row. But really this entire scarf is built off of half double crochets and double crochets. The double crochets are worked into post stitches, so I will show you how to do that as well. I have 4 sizes for this scarf: toddler, child, adult small, and adult large. So you can make a scarf for everybody in the family. This scarf starts with 2 rows of half double crochet here, and I wanted the rows here to sort of match the width on the sides because I'm not adding a border here, so I sort of built the border in. There's half double crochets there on the side and then the 2 rows of half double crochet there. The half double crochet on the bottom doesn't have anything to pull it together like the cable stitches do, so there's less stitches there to account for that. But if your work tends to butterfly out, you can go down a hook size for these 2 rows here and the last 2 rows of half double crochet at the end of the scarf, and then switch to your other hook for all the rest of it. Or you can block your scarf after, or you can put a border on. Mine is pretty even though it does flare out just a little bit. I'm happy with the way that it is, so I haven't done anything to modify it. But just an option there. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a slip knot. So I've pulled the yarn over my fingers here, wrap it around my index finger 2 times. Pull the loop on the left up over the other one but not off my finger. Pull the loop on the left now up over the other one and off my finger. Insert my crochet hook into the loop that's on my finger and pull it off. Hold the working yarn with my right hand. Short tail end in my left, I'm going to tighten that to normal tension. For a toddler size scarf, you'll start with a chain 16. For a child size scarf, you'll start with a chain 24. For my adult small size scarf, I'm going to start with a chain 29. For an adult large size, you'll start with a chain 34. To chain, we yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. That's going to be 3 chains. I'm going to go ahead and finish working my chains. I'm going to half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, so we don't count the loop that's on our hook. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, insert my hook right into the center of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And I'm going to continue to half double crochet into each chain across, yarn over, insert your hook into the center of the chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the center of the next chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And there's row 1 of our scarf. We're going to count the skip chains here in the beginning as one of our stitches, so you'll end up with just one less stitch here than what you chained. And to count your stitches, you can look to the V shapes on the top. I'll pull up a loop here really quick. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn, half double crochet into the very first stitch and each stitch across, yarn over, insert my hook into the first stitch, picking up both loops from that V-shaped stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, and continue across. I have one more stitch left to work, and that's in the skip chains here from the beginning. I'm going to insert right into that chain there on the end. So right now it looks like I finished my row, but I still have one more stitch there to work. Right into that edge, and now row 2 is complete. In rows 3 and 4, we're going to be working post stitches. So let's go ahead and chain 1 and turn. The first stitch is going to be a half double crochet as normal into the first stitch. I'm going to pull up a loop here so I don't lose this. We've been working into the top stitch here, picking up both loops of the V shape. When we work post stitches, we go below it. There's a stem right there. That is the post of this next stitch. If you spread your fabric, you'll see these holes in between the stitches. Those are where we're going to insert our hook and wrap around the post. So our first stitch has its own post right there. The post stitches here are found below the stitch, just to the right. You're going to insert your hook into the space to the right of the post stitch, wrap it around the back, and exit the space to the left of the post stitch. And by doing that, you're picking up the post stitch on your crochet hook. This is going to be for a front post double crochet, which is what we'll be working here in this row. I'm going to reinsert my hook here. It's actually a half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, so I'll half double crochet into the next stitch as normal. Now I'm ready to work a front post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook into the space to the right of the post stitch, wrap it around the back, come out the space to the left of the post stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the space to the right of the next post, wrap it around the back, come out the space to the left of the post, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the space to the right of the next post stitch, wrap it around the back, come out the space to the left, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 3 stitches, so let me work one more. And now we want to half double crochet into the next stitch. When we're looking at our post stitch there, the next stitch for our half double crochet is going to be above it to the left. Not above it to the right, it can be a little confusing there. Above it to the left. Insert as normal into the top of that stitch. That's going to be the very first stitch of our repeat for this row. The repeat's going to be half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 4 post stitches. And we'll continue that across to the very last 2 stitches of the row. So yarn over, insert your hook into the space to the right of the next post stitch, wrap it around the back, come out the space just to the left of it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now it's time to begin the repeat again. Half double crochet into the next stitch, which is just above the post stitch to the left. Front post double crochet around each of the next 4 post stitches and continue in pattern across the row. Now I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to half double crochet into each of those 2 stitches. And that completes row 3. Row 4 is going to be worked the same way, but into the back post of the stitches. We're going to chain 1, turn, begin with a half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. And now you can see that your post stitches are on the back side of your fabric and there's a ridge here in the front. To mimic this pattern and get the post stitches to stay on the same side of the fabric, we're going to work a back post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. Same concept, just worked a little bit different. Yarn over, insert your hook from behind the fabric into that stitch to the right of your post stitch, wrap it around the front, come out the space to the left of your post stitch. Now your post stitch is on your hook but on the back side. Yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook from the back side to the right of the post stitch, wrap it around the front, exit to the left of the post stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook from the back side to the right of the post stitch, wrap it around the front, come out to the left of the post stitch, your post stitch is on your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's one more post stitch here. and then our repeat begins. Half double crochet into the next stitch, and the next stitch is, there's the next post to the left, right above it to the left. Half double crochet as normal into that stitch, then back post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. And here we're at the top of the repeat again. Half double crochet into the next stitch, which is just above the post to the left. Back post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. Continue across. Once we're at the end, we'll half double crochet into those last 2 stitches. Here at the end, half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And row 4 is finished. This is the back side of the work. It's not as pretty, but as soon as we chain 1 and turn, you'll see the front side with all those ridges, and it's just beautiful. The cable stitch is going to be built on these post stitches. Alright, the first row of our repeat for this scarf is going to be our setup row for the cable. It's where we actually do the twisting for the cable stitch. I'm going to start by half double crocheting into each of the first 2 stitches. Then the next stitch is what is abbreviated as CR4F. Cabling over 4 stitches. I'm going to yarn over, skip each of the first 2 stitches there, front post double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, chain 1, then go back and front post double crochet around each of the first 2 skip stitches, starting with the very first stitch, then the repeat for this row begins. Half double crochet into the next stitch as normal, cable again here, yarn over, skip the first 2 stitches, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, chain 1, now front post double crochet around each of those first 2 skip stitches, starting with the first one, and repeat again. Half double crochet into the next stitch, skip each of the next 2 stitches, front post double crochet around each of the next 2, chain 1, then front post double crochet around each of those first skip stitches, continue down the row. When we finish it out here, it'll be 2 half double crochets into each one of those stitches there. Here we are at the end, half double crocheting to each of those last 2 stitches. Row 5 is finished, and now our cable has been started. Row 6 is going to be worked in a very similar way to how we worked down here. The only exception to this row is that we have to add a half double crochet in the middle of these cables. Chain 1, turn, half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. You may need to spread apart your fabric here so you can see your stitches better. You're working in the order that you see them there. So the first 2 stitches are the ones that are on top there on the back side. Then that chain 1 space is there in the middle. We're going to half double crochet there as normal. And now we're going to back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Those are the ones you can see better from the wrong side where you're at. From the right side they're underneath, so you'll have to pull them apart so you can get to them easier. And then the repeat begins here, half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Those are the ones that are on top there on the right side, then we'll half double crochet into the center chain 1 space, and then back post double crochet around each of the next 2 post stitches. Those are the ones you can see better from the wrong side you're on, so just pull it apart. You'll be able to get to it easier. And there's the top of our repeat again. Half double crochet into that stitch, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into that chain 1 space, back post double crochet around each of those next 2 stitches there. Work all the way across in pattern until you get to the end. We'll work 2 half double crochets into the last 2 stitches. Last 2 stitches of the row, half double crochet into each of them. And this is row 6 complete. For row 7, chain 1, turn, half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Here we're going to front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, and here's the top of our repeat. Half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Continue in pattern all the way across the row, 2 half double crochets in each of those last 2 stitches. Last 2 stitches of the row, half double crochet into each of them. And row 7 is now complete. We have just one more row to work of our repeat here, and then we'll begin with the cable stitch again. I'm going to start with a chain 1 and turn. And since we're working from the wrong side now, this is back post double crochets. Half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. And here's the top of our repeat here. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. And then the top of the repeat begins again here. Work all the way across, working 2 half double crochets into each of those last 2 stitches. Last 2 stitches of the row, half double crochet into each of them. I'm going to chain 1 and turn here so we can see the front side. This is how our scarf is going to be built. We're going to use these same rows over and over again to build our scarf. I am going to work 2 versions of them because I like having the visual difference. So one of my repeats will be just like this with 4 rows worked, a cable row, then a back post double crochet row, front post double crochet row, back post double crochet row. That's going to be rows 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's going to create this smaller section here. I'm going to work this 2 times, so I'll have 2 small sections here. Then, when I work the next repeat above that, I'm going to repeat rows 7 and 8 one more time. So instead of having a 4-row section, I'll have a 6-row section. So it'll be 4 rows, 4 rows, 6 rows. Then back to 4 rows, 4 rows, and 6 rows. And while I'm varying it a little bit here with the 6 rows, the stitch pattern itself is going to remain the same. And if you don't like the look of the 6-row section, you can continue with 4 rows the whole way. You could also do 6 rows the whole entire way. It's up to you. I am going to do it the way that I just explained. So I'll go over the repeat one more time here. Row 5, the cable row, is going to start with half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Then we're going to skip each of the next 3 stitches, including that half double crochet in the middle. Front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 1. Front post double crochet around each of the skipped stitches, starting with the first one. Then the repeat begins here, half double crochet into the next stitch. Skip the next 3 stitches, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 1. Front post double crochet around each of the first 2 skip stitches. And begin the repeat again. Work all the way across. half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn, half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches here, back post double crochet around the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the chain 1 space, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, which you may need to pull the fabric apart to see. And then the repeat begins here, half double crochet into the next stitch, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the center chain 1 space, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, and continue working across. Half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches, chain 1, turn, half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Here's the top of the repeat, half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Continue and pattern across. Half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn, half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, and there's the top of the repeat, half double crochet into the next stitch, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Continue across. Half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. And I'll chain 1 and turn, and that is my repeat done again right there. I'm going to go ahead and work another set of this repeat That'll give me another 4-row section, and then I'll be back here to show you the next 2 rows that I'll add to turn it into a 6-row section. So I have my beginning section here, then a 4-row section, and then a 4-row section. I want the next one to be a 6-row section, and then I'll work that repeat again with those 3 sections there. So let me work off camera and I'll be right back with you. Alright, I'm back at the next spot. I just completed 4 rows here, and I'm just going to work 2 more rows of this repeat. So the next one will be half double crochet into each of those first 2 stitches, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, continue in pattern all the way across, half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches, then chain 1, turn, half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the next stitch, back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches, continue across in pattern, half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches. I'll chain 1 and turn here really quick, and now you can see that this last section here has become a 6-row section. I'm going to go ahead and work off camera, repeating 4 rows, 4 rows, 6 rows, all the way until I get closer to the end of the size that I need. I am going to repeat at the end after the last 6-row section. It'll be a 4-row, 4-row, and then I will work a section just like the beginning here so that it will match on the other side. But once I get closer there, I will come back on and let you know how many rows you will need to work, depending on the size that you are working. Alright, I'm back and ready to finish off my scarf. I'm going to go ahead and put up a chart here showing how many rows you should have depending on the size that you're trying to make. We are just 5 rows shy of completely finishing our scarf. So I've done my last repeat here of 6 rows, 4 rows, and 4 rows. I'm gonna do 1 more row of cable, and then we're gonna do the post stitching, and then finish off with some half double crochet so that this side mimics the same pattern as the other side. I'm gonna modify this part a little bit because I want to take out the half double crochet that's in the middle of my cable, but I'll still leave the half double crochet that's in between the cables. So I'm going to start, I have a chain 1 here and I've turned, this is the right side of my work, half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Then I'm going to do my cable setup row, so I'm going to yarn over, skip these first 2, front post double crochet around the next 2. But I'm not going to chain 1 here. I'm just going to go right into the front post around those first 2 skip stitches. Then I'll half double crochet into that next stitch, and then I'll do it again. Skip these first post stitches, skip that half double crochet, front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. Do not chain 1, and then front post double crochet around each of those first 2 skip stitches. Half double crochet in the next stitch, and continue all the way across the row, ending with a half double crochet in each one of those stitches. Alright, there's our cable setup row with no chain 1 in the middle, which means there is not going to be a half double crochet within the cable when we work the last couple rows. Chain 1, turn. Here I'm going to half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Without the half double crochet in the middle of this cable stitch, it's just going to be a back post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. Then we half double crochet into the next stitch. Then back post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. Then half double crochet into the next stitch, and continue all the way across with a half double crochet into each of those last 2 stitches. For this next row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. This one will be really simple. It's going to start with half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Front post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Continue across, front post double crochet around each of the next 4 stitches, half double crochet in the next stitch, work 1 half double crochet into each of those last 2 stitches. We're going to finish the scarf off with just 2 rows of half double crochet. They'll be worked exactly the same way. Chain 1, turn, half double crochet into the first stitch, and to each stitch all the way across. And that's the end of this scarf. I'm going to go ahead and fasten off here. I'm not adding a border, but you can absolutely do that if you'd like. I'm going to pull up on this loop to break it. And now I'll just weave in my ends. Alright, I have my beginning tail end here and my tapestry needle ready to go. For this one, where it's in the corner, I'm going to make a V shape here on the side. So I'm just going to insert it into the next stitch up from the wrong side to the right side. And when I pull, I just want to make sure that I tighten the knot, but I don't pull the loop too tight, because I want it to just lay naturally there. Then I'm going to insert my needle into the very first stitch there where the knot is, from the right side to the wrong side. And that's going to create the second leg of the V shape. And then I'll just pull a little bit, use my fingers to manipulate the fabric, and that mimics any other stitch that you would see there. And now I'm on the wrong side, so I can weave in my ends. As I weave in my ends here, I'm going to do it vertically. I don't want to distort the shape or take away any of the stretch widthwise. It could cause some bunching, which could make the fabric show it. It's a little bit easier to hide if you do it vertically. Every time I enter and exit, I'm not going to pick up the whole entire stitch on my needle. I'm going to insert my needle into the center of the stitch, breaking it in half, and that's going to help capture my yarn better. So here I'm going to break my stitch, work up through several stitches there, and when I exit, break the stitch in half as well. And I'll pull on it and use my fingers to manipulate the fabric so that it lays flat and natural. I do 3 passes. That's my first pass. I'm going to go into a nearby stitch, break it in half, run back through several of the stitches I just worked, and break my stitch in half upon exit. If you feel comfortable with your yarn after 2 passes, you can fasten off then. If you need to do a 4th pass, you can do that as well. Whatever you feel the most secure, that's where you stop. I like to do 3. Insert into a nearby stitch, breaking in half, run up back through several of those stitches, and break my last stitch in half upon exit. And you can always use your fingers to pull on the fabric and manipulate it so that it doesn't bunch up. And then I'm ready to fasten off. And I'm going to do this for each one of my tail ends here. So right here is where I join the new ball. I'm going to weave those through several stitches here, just through the bulkiness of the stitch there. Same thing here where I weaved in my ends, just do it vertically right there into several of those stitches. And then where I fastened off here at the end, I'm going to do a similar thing to the front. I have the right side facing me. I'm going to go down to this stitch right here where the last stitch was worked into, and I'm going to insert my needle from the wrong side to the right side and pull it. And that's going to create the first leg of that V shape there. If your stitch comes loose, just grab the leg from the top, pull it, it'll tighten that stitch up, and then pull the tail end that you have. But you don't want to bunch it, you just want it to lay natural. To create the second leg, we go up to the top where the V shape is from the last stitch, insert right into the center, from the top through the very center, coming out on the back side. And I'm just going to tighten my stitch up a little bit here, but there's the V shape right there. And now I'm on the back side, so I'm ready to weave in my end. And I'm going to do it the same way, vertically, 3 passes. I'm going to do the rest of the ends off camera, but check it out. Now we got a brand new scarf that we can wear out. You're going to find the link to this crochet pattern in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please smash that like button and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.